your name? Don't you play this game? You from another land, got you like it's contraband. Tell me what's your name? Don't you play this game? You from another land, got you like it's contraband.
What's up, guys? Keyshawn and Chia here, back at you with another new Oten Universe video. Now, this is going to be a special one because I was kind of working on it a little bit and kind of not. If you're saying if I was scripting, no, I wasn't. I was just doing some things. But this is going to be part 1 of what if Deku was in BioShock. Now, this is going to be BioShock 1, 2, and 3. I know how y'all guys are going to say, but Keyshawn and Chia, how Deku going to be in BioShock 1, 2, and 3 if it's all in different times? And also, how is this going to work? Because Deku means he's going to turn into an adult by the time he gets back to his mom and say, shut the fuck up. It's going to work, alright? I got a plan. I'm the man with the plan, alright? But let's get started. So how would this work? Well, basically, we're going to have to change some ground rules here. We're going to have the BioShock universe be connected to the My Hero Academia universe. How's that going to work? Well, it's not going to really affect anything in the My Hero Academia universe. Because BioShock Infinite is pretty much up in the sky, and the only people who can go up there is probably heroes that you can fly, but pretty much it's going to be all the way up in the sky, so no one's not going to know what the hell is up there. And whoever is trying to go up there and try to figure out what's up in the sky in BioShock Infinite will most likely get shot the fuck down or get destroyed. So that will also be a thing. So that's not going to be a problem. And BioShock 1 and 2, that's basically underwater. And if a person has a quirk that can go underwater into a really fast depths, like down in the water, because I'm going to make it go down in the water. If they don't have a thing to do that, then most likely they're fucked. And number 3, Deku, he's going to start off as a little bit of at the age of 10, maybe like a little bit more, so we won't miss out on the entrance exams and all that shit. Depends on how I do it. But other than that, we're going to get to the story. Oh, but also this will be an 18 plus, maybe X, depends on how I do this. But let's get started. So how we start this off. We're going to start off with Deku. We're going to have him have his quirk this time, but he's not going to have like a unique quirk. It's going to be a quirk that can help him handle the plasma, or should I say the effect of the abilities of the plasma or the gifts that you get. Basically, I'm going to give him that so A, he won't turn into an ugly ass person. B, I'm going to have him have a weak ass quirk that is actually a benefit to him, that will actually benefit him to handle the plasma, so he won't turn into a freak or go crazy. It will actually help him more. It will actually make him opposite than that. It will actually make him handsome. You could say quite young. You could say. So, yeah. But other than that, let's get started. So, we're going to start off with Deku basically being boring. Everything happens the same. Deku is not going to kind of get bullied. He's going to get a little bit bullied by Bakugou, but, like, it's going to be teased as, like, you don't have a strong quirk, but I'm not going to bully you a lot. You're still going to be my friend, kind of way. But, pretty much, we're going to start off with Deku being 10 years old. 10 years old, and we're going to say, Deku kind of got, we're going to say the school had an accident, so, the school is going to be kind of having an accident, so Bakugou, Deku, and everybody else is going to be out of school for a while. This is where Inko is pretty much heading home first, and I'm going to say Deku and his mom went on a trip, so Inko went home first, and Deku's father is going to be a surprise, so hold off on that. But pretty much, this is where Deku is pretty much heading on the plane by himself, and pretty much talking to his mom on the phone, saying that he's going to be home soon, which Inko be like, oh, that's going to be happy and stuff. They're gonna have some dessert and stuff when he gets home, which he's happy about. This is where the plane crash happens. As the plane crash is happening, this is where Deku crashes. Now, as that's happening, this is where Deku pretty much gets out the wreckage and pretty much make it to the tower. As he make it to the tower, he pretty much goes up looking around, don't know what the hell's going on, and it's pretty much dark until the lights turn on, and he sees, you could say, a boat thing, or I forgot what to call it. But when Deku goes in, he pretty much pulls down the level, and he gets sent down. Now, as he's getting sent down, he's pretty much getting the whole, tutorial thing and trial of how this place was built and stuff. And basically, the guy gives out the speech of, "Ain't you tired of the man?" and all that shit, and basically all that, and saying, "Well, I welcome you here, where there's no God you don't have to pray to," and all that. Which Deku is pretty much is amazed about this. He's not as like, oh, interesting. No, he's amazed by this because this is like an underwater Atlantis, and he pretty much sees this place and he's pretty much in amazement. Now, this is going to be, well, the same as BioShock. So as Deku goes down, he pretty much looks around and he sees everything is a whole mess, and he's pretty much a little bit scared. Not as like, oh, like Spine's still scared, as since Bakugou didn't bully him or tell him to go kill himself and then that, Deku don't have that whole pussiness of like, oh, I'm a little bit scared. I should just wait here and stuff. Like, no, he's gonna investigate because he ain't a pussy like that. But pretty much, this is where Deku is looking around and all that. And as Deku's looking around and stuff and trying to see what's going on, this is where, as he goes, he pretty much looks around and stuff. And this is where he grabs the recorder, and the guy pretty much talks to him, and he pretty much explains to Deku that this whole place is a kind of a shit show, and he is going to help him get out of here and stuff. But first, he's going to have to help him get to his family, get his family out of here. Which Deku agrees because he feels bad for the guy, and he said this is what All Might do. He will help out anyone in need, if he's not strong. Which Deku still has that whole heroism. So the guy will thank Deku, and him and the guy will be start going. Now, as Deku's going, he pretty much grabs the wrench, as you could say the main protagonist guy do, and he pretty much has the wrench. And this is where the guy says that you're gonna have to use this to defend yourself, if you have to kill someone. Which Deku is advised of not killing, but the guy says that it's the only way because his people are not people anymore. Well, long forgotten people, you could say. Which Deku says, if I have to. Now, this is where Deku goes, and the same happens as in the game. This is where Deku finds the plasma thing, and pretty much this is where the guy explains to him that pretty much get the shock. He will have a shock ability, and this is, well, electric boat, we're gonna say. Now, this is where Deku ejects himself, and he begins to start feeling the power. Now, this is the same as is gonna happen, and Deku starts screaming and shocked and feeling the power course to him. Now, this is where I say his quirk will come in. Now, this is where his quirk will handle the evolution and stuff. And this is where his quirk is going to activate, where instead of like infecting him, making him go crazy or anything, or pretty much making him turn ugly or all that, no, it's going to pretty much have no negative effects, and he can pretty much use the abilities, and he won't really rely on, you know, all that Adam, you could say. But we're just going to say he's going to use the Atom just to upgrade his slots and stuff. But he's going to pretty much just get Atom forming inside of him. So he's kind of going to be like a sister, you could say. Like, you could say like that. But pretty much, this is where Deku hits the ground, and this is where the two guys comes in, and they pretty much looking at Deku, and they're pretty much saying, well, look at this kid. Look like he just got his cherry pop, and they start laughing and stuff. This is where one of them saying, we gotta get out of here, which the other guy calls him a coward, and he pretty much saying, we're gonna meet soon, kid, and they start going. Now, this is where Deku gets up, and as Deku's getting up, he looks at his skin color, and he realized that he's brown, which the guy's saying that it could affect him in many ways, which pretty much it looks like it changed his skin color. So Deku would be black in this. You're welcome. Now, pretty much this is where Deku starts going ahead, and Deku hair will be green. So yeah, Deku hair will be a little bit much longer, as it's gonna be longer to touch his back. So his hair is gonna be long to touch his back, and Deku realized that his hair is much longer, and he's a little bit taller and stuff, but not as like he's not gonna be tall as an adult, but he's gonna be a little bit tall and stuff. But pretty much this is where Deku starts going and stuff, and he starts learning how to use electric boat and stuff, and he can pretty much use to pretty much open up doors and stuff. And the guy explains that there's other more abilities like that, like telekinesis and stuff. Which Deku asks if there's more, which he's saying yeah. Which the guy explains that Deku he can use them as what he needs to do to get through this. Which Deku thanks him, and Deku can also. Which Deku asks him a question: will this be permanent to him? Which the guy says yes, it will. It'll be permanently stuck to you. Which Deku's kind of excited about it because now he has, well, the capability of basically having powers and to become the number one hero, which he's thinking about and he's excited about. But this is where Deku pretty much takes notes and draw arts and pictures of this place. And pretty much as he's going, this is where he meets the guy, Thomas Wells, if I'm correct, and he pretty much explains that who do you work for, kid? The CIA, the bourgeoisie, and all that crap. Which pretty much he's saying, well, it doesn't matter. You're pretty much gonna die. Which this is where the attack is happening. Which the guy says, hurry up and get inside. Which Deku gets in, and so forth, so forth. Now, pretty much this is where Deku continues the story, and everything happens as the same. This is where Deku will make the option of saving the sisters, the little, the little sisters and stuff, instead of like absorbing them and stuff, because the guy will say like, oh, do it, Deku, absorb them, you get more atom power, which Deku says no, this is not what All Might would do, and he pretty much will start saving the sisters one by one, which the guy's saying you're making a big mistake, which Deku says he doesn't care. He's still going to help him get his family, but he's not going to kill any girls or turn them into whatever he says they are. Which the little girls thinks Deku, and Deku says it's no problem, and he smiles and stuff, which the girls smile back at him, the little sisters. Now, as the story goes on, pretty much everything happens the same, like I said. Deku gets all the abilities. Weather Blast, basically freeze enemies. Inferno, telekinesis, which Deku has been using. Sonic Boom, basically push enemies away and stuff. Agar, basically piss off enemies, make them forget you, and make them switch sides on other enemies and just attack anyone nearby. Invest Storm, basically you know what I mean. Bees, fucking bees, and hypnotize Big Daddy, or hypnotize Big Daddy, basically have the Big Daddy on their side. But we're pretty much going to have the story, continue the story and stuff, and yeah. Now, this is where Deku pretty much make it to the last guy, and the guy pretty much tells the truth to Deku that he checked the DNA and he realized something, that you're my son. Which Deku is shocked and saying, "What do you mean?" Which this is where Deku has a fight with him. Now, since Deku already has all his weapons in Sonaro, like rocket launcher, shotgun, crossbow, and so forth, he starts fighting the guy, and this is where Deku begins to gets overwhelmed by the guy. But as Deku's getting back up to fight him, this is where the guy pretty much holds Deku still and says that it tells him that this is his place he built and we can share this together. Which this is where the little sister ejects the guy, begins to have him fall on the ground and passes out. Pretty much hits the ground. Which this is where Deku asks if he's dead, which the little girl says he was about to kill him, which Deku was a little bit upset, but that his father was pretty much just mad, but he understands and pretty much thanks them. This is where they hand him the key, but this is where Deku doesn't accept, takes the key. But he pretty much tells them that he's going to head back home. And as he's heading back home, he asks them does they want to come with him, which they agree, and they start coming with Deku. Now, this is where we hit to BioShock 2. Now, we're going to say, we're going to have BioShock 2 and BioShock 1 together, so everything is the same, but pretty much Deku helps out Big Daddy too, so at the end, Big Daddy went on his separate way, pretty much dies out, and the older sister injects Big Daddy's inside her, so they both see the view. So Deku helps out, was a part of that part, and also gets abilities from there too. But pretty much, after that, we're going to head to BioShock Infinite. Now, this is where Deku pretty much takes the little sisters and they start going. But pretty much, this is where Deku begins to launch up. But this is a different launch thing, and they pretty much gets launched all the way up in the sky, which Deku's with all the little sisters. Now, this is where as they open, they look around, and Deku's saying, now what the hell? what the heck is this place? And this is where the thing explains that this is a different guy and this is up in this cloud and stuff. And Deku starts saying, which this is where Deku begins to get battery service. And he begins to trying to call his mom Inko, which Inko is saying, "Oh my God, Deku, I heard about what happened to the plane crash. Are you okay, Deku? Are you still alive?" Which Deku is calling her and basically saying that she's breaking up, but he's saying that he will be coming home and he will come back safe and stuff. And pretty much he's going to bring some family with him, which Inko doesn't know what he means, but he pretty much says that he will talk to her later and pretty much hangs up. Now, this is where BioShock Infinite comes in. Now, this is where Deku pretty much make his way through town and stuff, and he sees the whole heretics and stuff. And this is where he meets the main protagonist, because he's not gonna be a part of the whole Elizabeth, and that'd just be too weird. But pretty much, this is where he meets the main protagonist guy, and he's basically here to get a girl named Elizabeth, which Deku is just saying he's just trying to get out of here, which this is where the guy says that he can help him if he helps him, which Deku agrees to help, and they start making their way through, which this is where Deku tells the little sisters to pretty much head to this destination, pretty much the focus, and well, to pretty much stay put while he go and help this guy out, where pretty much Deku, which the little sisters agree, and they start staying put. Now this is where Deku helps out the guy, and this is where Deku also starts getting new abilities, as the horse thing where he or charge where he can basically charge and basically trap. And he doesn't need kept Devil's Kiss because he already has Inferno, but he will also use learn Gravity Well, also the crow thing with the crows, and he will learn other abilities, you could say. But other than that, he will also get the Trojan thing where he gets extra shields and scalp. So yeah, but pretty much this is where um Deku will help get Elizabeth, and pretty much this is where Deku says, "Now where is the thing I'm supposed to go?" Which pretty much this is where pretty much the guy tells Deku that there's an exit thing right there, and he can pretty much go. Which Deku thanks him and pretty much grabs the little sisters and heads off, and they get sent back to the destination of land. Now, as they get hit to the water, this is where Deku pulls out the little sisters, and they pretty much get rescued by, we're just gonna say, the rescue team that was looking for any survivors. And Deku is the only one, so they pretty much help out Deku and the little sisters, and pretty much Deku starts heading to his home. You could say his home country. Now, as he's heading to his home country, this is where Deku makes it to the airport, and pretty much Inko comes to see Deku and starts hugging him and asking if he's okay. Which Deku says, yeah, he's perfectly fine. Which Inko asks, also noticed that Deku looks much different. He's a little bit taller, muscular. He also is, you could say, black now, and his hair is much longer. Which she asks what happened to him. Which pretty much Deku says it's a long story. Now we're gonna starting with the school thing. Now, pretty much this is where we're just gonna start with the whole 3-year thing. Now, this is where Deku's pretty much coming home. Well, pretty much is getting ready to go to school, which the sisters are pretty much much older now, and Deku's a little bit much older now. They pretty much starts running to Deku and pretty much saying, "Big brother Deku," which Deku says, "Yeah," which they're pretty much saying when is he going to come home, which Deku says he's going to be coming home soon, but he's going to be he makes sure to get them some snacks when he comes back, which they say thank you, and pretty much they say thank you to Ink. They pretty much start saying, "Mom, do you need help?" Which the little sisters start calling Inko mom and call Deku big brother. So yeah, but pretty much this is where Deku is going to school, and as he's going to school, well, yeah, to school, he pretty much goes in class and takes a seat, and a couple of girls and boys start talking to Deku because Deku is popular, which that's surprising, is pretty much getting noticed by girls and stuff, and they start talking to Deku, and some of the girls are asking Deku is some of the girls are pretty much saying that are they gonna go all hang out to the movie theater today, which Deku's saying that sorry he can't, he has plans with his sisters, which pretty much they're all saying, oh, that sucks, which pretty much Bakugo comes in and pretty much looks at Deku, and he pretty much looks at Deku with disgust, which Deku still is friends with Bakugo, but Bakugo doesn't like Deku because Deku's just different now. He's much stronger than him, which Bakugo doesn't like. But let's continue. This is where the teacher comes in and does the whole paper thing. Everybody wants to become a hero, and everybody's decided, including Deku, because he wants to become number one hero, and he also wants to go to UA High. Now, this is where Deku is pretty much. This is where the teacher is pretty much looking at the paper, and this is where he pretty much sees only two people. He say, "Oh, Buzuki Midoriya," and pretty much Bakugo, which everybody's saying, "Oh yeah, Deku, I believe he can." Which everybody's saying, "Deku, oh, yeah, he's definitely going to get in there." Which everybody's confident Deku, which Bakugo's not getting confident, and he's getting pissed off. Which he pretty much says, "That's it," and he pretty much goes to Deku and pretty much grabs Deku book, but that's the book with the heroes and stuff, not with the whole underwater stuff, and he pretty much blows it up. This is where Deku pretty much gets pissed off and starts saying, "What the hell is your problem, Bakugo?" Which Bakugo pretty much pushed Deku and pretty much saying, "I'm tired of your shit," and pretty much challenged Deku into a fight, which Deku says, "Kashan, I really don't want to fight you. Let's just go home and forget about this." Which Deku is apologizing, which Bakugo ain't hearing it and saying, "I'm tired of this. We're about to fight." Which Deku says, "Alright, if you say so." Which this is where Deku starts heading outside after school with Bakugo. Now this is where Bakugo charges at Deku to have a fight with Deku, but this is where Deku is not having it and pretty much charges at Bakugo and pretty much bamboozle his shit. And what do I mean by bamboozle his shit? I mean he absolutely used charge and pretty much charged forward at him, pretty much hitting Bakugo and sending him flying to a tree. Now this is where Bakugo gets up, coughing up a bit, and he starts trying to charge at Deku again. Now, as he's charging at Deku, this is where Deku says, okay. And he pretty much just uses Winter Blast and pretty much frees Bakugo. Now, this is where he frees Bakugo and everybody sees what happened to Bakugo. This is where everybody acts if Bakugo dead, but Deku says no, he just frees him in place. If he wanted to kill him, he could just punch him right now and shatter him in pieces, but he's not. He's his best friend, which he pretty much says he's just gonna go, and he'll just die out in a minute or so, give or take, of how weak he is, which everybody start laughing. But this is where Deku starts going, and he takes the shortcut to bridge to head home early. And as he's heading to the bridge, this is where the sludge villain comes and attacks Deku. And Deku's not having it, so Deku pretty much uses telekinesis. And since the sludge villain is a sludge, the telekinesis will work. So Deku will pretty much pick up the sludge villain and pretty much just holds him still and says, "What do you think you're doing?" Which this is where the sludge villain will say, "What the hell? How are you doing this?" Which Deku is pretty much holding him still, and he's not losing any like plasma or anything because, like I said, Deku did unlock all his slots and stuff, so it's not really doing anything. And I'm going to tell y'all a secret. Since he was having a fight with his father, you could say, in the whole underwater thing, the father did inject Deku with the infinite plasma. So yeah, Deku has infinite plasma, so it's not gonna really go away. But pretty much this is where Deku is holding him still and yawning and saying, it's quite annoying. I really don't want to fight you." And Deku is just really aggravated right now since he got his book burnt and he's upset. Which this is where Deku pretty much just throws the sludge villain away, like far away back out of the bridge and telling him to leave him alone. And he begins to start heading out. This is where the sludge villain is getting more pissed off and trying to catch up, try to attack Deku again until All Might comes in and does the blast. Which Deku sees All Might and says, "Oh, cool. It's All Might," start fanboying out. Which All Might says, "I am here," and all that. Which Deku saying, "Thanks All Might for helping out." Which Deku pretty much talk to All Might, which All Might asks who he was. This is where Deku asks for an autograph from All Might, which All Might pretty much gives Deku an autograph and pretty much heads off. Which Deku is excited. They got an autograph from All Might, and he pretty much says maybe today is not bad. Now this is where he pretty much buys some candy and stuff. Well, yes, some candy and chips and stuff for the sisters, for the little sisters, and begins to start heading home. Now as he's heading home, this is where he pretty much comes in, and the little sisters are pretty much running to Deku and hugging him, saying welcome home, which Deku says he's glad to be home, which he pretty much says he brought chips and snacks for them, which they're excited. Which Inko says after they're done eating their vegetables and stuff, which they're pretty much saying, boo, which Inko's saying, oh, it's not so bad, which Deku is smiling. Now, this is part 1 of what if Deku was in BioShock. If you like, let's just get this up to 60 likes, and I'll do another part. But I'm Keyshawn Achia. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.